Here. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you again, Kishma Venture. Thank you, everyone, for being here, participating, spending your time, trying to encourage people to come out of this pit hole. Shahida, very well done. Yeah, you've put on all the things that we need to come forward and look after our own self, because I always have been emphasizing on the self priority, because if we cannot look after ourselves, it's difficult to look after others. And like I always say, each one of us constitutes to this planet almost, you know what I mean? So each one is important, we can't neglect. But you've covered all that, and I don't want to go into the details because it's the same thing. What I want to say is, particularly at this moment, we know how bad things are. Even though a lot of us are trying to put up the brave face, we still are facing challenges, whether it's economical, social, political, everywhere there are problems, okay? And it's very easy to get stuck with them and stay back. Very, very important, specifically now that I see situations in India, and I've seen a lot of like hyped people or non-hyped people, they're resorting to these suicidal attempts, and it's self-harming thoughts. And not only like when they materialize, even when they're not materializing, when you're faced in that phase, you're in that zone where you see darkness around you, it's difficult. So it's very important as a society, as a family, as a workplace, we are very considerate to people, very, very considerate to people, because no matter how brave people can look, they can have millions of things going on inside them. So I think this is the time where we have to be very sympathetic, very careful how we choose our words, very careful in how we behave with others, because every little thing can count. Because, when someone's going through a wreck of a time, even a little of the littlest thing can just push them into that area that they can't come out of. So if we can't lend a helping hand, at least be very, very considerate. So this is where I'm coming from when I see all these things that are happening around us. We really need to get this message out that, wait a second, help is around. Just don't stay quiet. Talk to someone. Do you know what I mean? It's very important to discuss. But I think the very fear of talking is because our society brands them as cowards. And especially in our Asian societies, in England, in other Western countries, we diagnose mental health as mental well-being. And we equally care about it, and we equally focus on it, even though there's a lot of reservations still around, but we still empathize or sympathize. But in our Southwest Asian countries, we cannot come up and own up to it because it is almost a taboo. It's almost like you're defaming your family, you're defaming your workplace. You cannot stand with it because people will not accept it. You become a laughing joke if you talk about something like that. And very rightly, health matters, we sympathize with each other and we say, okay, fine. We send messages for well recovery, soon recovery. But you can't even go up and tell someone, wait a second, you know what, I'm actually challenged. I'm suffering. I'm going through so much, which is influencing my health, my well-being, my whole life. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not there, this life comes to an end for me, for my family, for whoever are linked to us. Do you know what I mean? So it's so important to somehow bring that vibration out that, wait a second, we are sympathetic. We're not judging you. We are there to hear from you. We're there to support you. And when leaders come out, when people of like significance come out and they share their stories that, wait a second, look, we face ups and downs. This is not happening to anyone. It's happening everywhere. Then it helps other people to understand that, wait a second, look, they've somehow managed to find that strength. Even they had the challenges and we can do it as well. So I think it's very important to circulate that message around again and again to help people to come back to that compassionate zone and accept it as just a well-being state, a mental health state of well-being, not brand it as something wrong, not brand it as something that you have to shy away from and hide. Why do people have to sit in closed doors where they're unwell and not let anyone in and not let see what's happening in them? Why is it that when we have people who are unwell, we go and visit them in hospitals with flowers, with chocolates, with whatever we can? But someone struggling with a mental health issue, in the sense, mental wellness, just where they are struggling with the real issues in life. We have things, not only now after COVID, but I think in our countries, we see there are issues that are prevalent to, in spite of anything else, because we have these job crises. Not forget that in higher societies in our countries, I think we have a lot of competitive zones as well, where people see each other doing well and they're not doing well, and then they struggle. So there's a lot of things around. It's just a time to be very sympathetic, walk hand in hand, baby steps, just be very mindful of each other. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. Dr. Satnam, thank you for your valuable, very realistic, and as you shared that, the perspective and the context in the Asian and all countries to highlight the mental health and emotional well-being. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.